So welcome everyone to this Eclipse J community call. So I've added the link to the Google Doc with the topics in the chat. So if you want to talk about something, please add it there to the Google Doc. I will just start sharing the screen. This one. Yeah, I think it's the wrong window. Okay, can you see the Google Docs with the topics?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. So I've added one topic today. So I wanted to talk about something that we have been discussing offline. So I think like a discussion of that, because that's a major change since when we have switched to the dev workspace. So I think it was beneficial to discuss it. And this is about starting a workspace from a dev file. So I've opened here Codery Workspaces. This is based on Che previews of so before the 742, the switch to the dev workspace. And so if a user click on create workspace, there were two tabs here. One was this one with a quick add. You could enter a URL, or you could select one of the samples that we have. But yeah, the important thing, the thing that I wanted to discuss was about this tab here. And this was a place where a user could edit that file from here. So this was cool because you could select like one of the examples. It got pre-populated, so the user shouldn't have to add manually plugins, etc. And yeah, he could just edit with his URL, etc. So this was cool, but it's not here anymore. So if you want to create a workspace now, this is how it looks like. There is only the quick add, and there is no new tab here. So we have removed that. Okay, so there are a couple of reasons why it's not here. The first is a question of resources, is that we could not support having also the editor of the file 2.x here, and since we wanted to release earlier, we released without this tab. So we say it's not, so at the time it was not working, so we decided to remove it. And the other reason is that we got feedback from people that like were first-time users of Che that they could not, so that was not useful, meaning that they could not understand much how to use this, and they started like changing images like here, and things started not working, or they didn't know exactly how to edit that. And since this was the feedback of like this editor not being useful, because editing a YAML file of a YAML of a format that you don't know is not really useful, we thought that instead of adding this back, so adding the custom workspace tab back, we would prefer having something different, like letting always the user starting from here. So I took an example here. I can like select this one. This is a Git repository with a microservice demo, so it's an example of a microservice. And you can always put the Git repository here. So that's what I expect from a first-time user. He does he create the repository from here. And if you look at here, so you don't, there is no dev file here. So there is no definition of the dev file. So this is like what we want to support it as much as possible. So meaning that so now it's loading, and there is an issue that has been included in this sprint, that when a dev file is not present, Chase should include UDI-based dev container in the workspace. That means that when the workspace starts, there will be UDI so based images. So meaning if you go to the UDI that are defined somewhere, so it's like if you're not familiar with developer images, let's just go here. So you have the developer image is based on the developer, so the developer universal image is the base image is this one that has all these command line tools, and then is as also on top of that base image, the universal image has Java support, Scala, C, C++, PHP, Node.js, Go.NET, Rust. So what we want is that when there is no dev file, we use this image with all these language tools, so that the user should be able to use the command line and start running and building the application from here. But then the second thing that we want to add is that we would like to have we want to guide the user when there is no dev file. So we want, once the IDE is started, like when I'm here and there is no dev file, we want to have a walkthrough for the user saying, hey, it looks like you don't have a dev file. So if you want to customize it, and if you want to add some components or some commands or some events, so you can do that, doing that, and that. And to do that, there is the issue that is created, and for Visual Studio Code, that is now the things where we are putting more effort today. We would like to have a walkthrough extension for the dev file. So if you're not familiar with walkthrough extensions of for Visual Studio Code, these are like the some walkthrough that allows you, so that provides you information and do some help you doing some changes to your. So adding like a dev file will be a perfect example of a walkthrough. So this is the idea. So the vision that we have for the future. We want user to start from here always, never from editing a dev file, because they will gonna get lost. We want them to land in their IDE, so where they can see the code, the source code, they can open a shell, and we want to guide them through a walkthrough saying, okay, it looks like you don't have a dev file, so we can create one for you, or you can edit that one automatically. And we believe that this is where developers should edit their dev file, not in the dashboard. So the right place to edit the dev file is in the IDE itself, not in the dashboard. And these are like the reason why we have removed it from here, because we want users to be able to edit it from TIA, from Visual Studio Code, from IntelliJ, not from the dashboard. So because otherwise you you are in your IDE, you want to change something, you need to go back to the dashboard. And this is wrong. So you want to change something, you are in your IDE, you change your configuration, and you just reload your workspace. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So explaining why, so we don't have this tab anymore. Is there some comment on that?
Yes. So it was mainly raised by firstly, maybe not firstly, but thanks for this topic because it's significant changes which Maxim Usienko, our quality engineer, found and raised internally. And from your explanation now it's clear why the changes was done. And it's interesting to hear that it was not so popular because if you ask me, I use this several times at least, just to when I have the file, wrote the file, just copy paste it and that's all, and voila, I have workspace. Now with one workspace limitation on Dev Sandbox, we will have some, let's say, how to say, it would not so convenient because user will need to start workspace from factory. You said that there is a repo with list of possible examples. Yes, so user should go to there and start workspace from there.
No.
And so how? No.
So yeah, no. I mean, if you want to start workspace now, instead of creating a dev file, you should just copy paste the Git repository. So as I showed before, so you take so this is my example Git repository. I take the URL, I put it here, and I say create and open. You should not start from any example or nothing. So just do create and open. You go here, you have your workspace running under a universal developer image. If you are on Visual Studio Code, you will be prompted because it will see that you're using some languages and it will prompt you with some plugins extension, and you won't need much more than that. Does that make sense?
Firstly, user should have a link to that.
Sorry,
some
you should have
a link to the repo. I mean, to paste in that field. So, and you said that user should know which UDI image to select. Yes, it wasn't clear for me, frankly speaking, how user can do it simply. And you said that there will be some guidance later, something in dashboard which will help user to select proper UDI or construct the file.
Yeah. No. UDI will be there by default. So you will have UDI by default. So you copy the URL of the Git repository here. You click create and open, and then it opens a workspace based on UDI. Because you don't have any, so we need to select the default image, and the default image is the universal developer image. So yeah, the thing is that it's much easier to just put a Git repository here instead of having to edit this file here that is can be a little bit from a user it can be something that can get lost. So we want the user to just put the Git repository here, create and open, and then he will have a UDI email-based workspace. Is it easier now? So does it make sense?
Maybe Maybe it makes sense, for example, if there will be predefined URL to repo, some repo, what do you think? In that field which you showed, create workspace, and there could be something like create empty workspace complete. I don't know. But we already have create workspace samples. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you have workspace samples that, so if I start like Java Spring Boot, for example, here, I will have an example that has already a dev file in it. So that can be, so the use case that you want is something that doesn't have a source code neither, right? So maybe like you would like to have something completely empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah, I think
empty
this,
without.
yeah, I think this is, so honestly, so this is something that just last week a customer was asking for that, because they say, okay, I want just to start from an empty IDE, and then I do everything from the IDE. So I select one repository, and then I add multiple repositories because I want to work with multiple ones. I think we need to think what's the best UI. Like maybe if we could have like here, leave it open to just create an empty workspace. I don't know, but definitely that's something that it's different from this custom workspace. This one was to make a workspace that had source code, that had plugins, etc. So the functionality that you are asking, like empty IDE, yeah, that was something that you could not do with this.
I see. Another possible issue is workspace name, because workspace name is now getting from the file. So if user will use some pre-existed workspace, he or she will not be able to change workspace name after installation, after starting workspace, even if they will go to the file or already existed workspace and try to adapt it to their needed, but workspace name will be persisted. So what do you think about that case? To let users change workspace name after workspace creation?
Yeah, I mean, today you are able to change the name, right?
No, when I change name of existed workspace, it shows error, like no, it's not possible. But you can change it in fields, but when you try to save it,
Okay, it
I
doesn't
saw
work.
the error message. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how? So because if you use generated name instead of name, you always have a random name.
No, name
Maybe
is not random. It
yeah,
is the
but
same.
no, but meaning that here you have generated name that could be used instead of name, and if you use a generated name, it means that then you can it will always change. So it will be used as prefix, and then the suffix will. So I don't know. Maybe that's like a workaround, but I think that's a good thing. So maybe it's an issue that we should create, like being able to edit easily, renaming easily workspace.
Yeah,
Yes.
create it from samples. Even more, let's say I have factory, and when I try to open several workspace from the same factory link, and there is already existed workspace created previously, so it just redirects into existed workspace. I can't create several workspaces from the same factory link.
No. So
I don't know
yeah.
if it's critical. Yeah, but not
So
so
this is
convenient.
yeah. So thanks. So Dimitro, that's again. excellent feedback, because I don't think we have communicated a lot about that. But this has been done on purpose, because because something is as we are used to use Che since a few years. We have been using it and we're used to these things. But the feedback that we got from a few key persons we have been asking is that when they click on the factory link, they expect the previous workspace that they just created to be reopened. They do not expect a new workspace. So we made the default.
Really?
Yes, we made the default behavior to be to always reopen the existing one and not to create a new one. This is not so that can be overridden now, and it's like a parameter of the factory link. So the parameter is new. It's by default is true. It's false. But if you specify new, it will start always a new workspace. This was something that Florent explained well in the blog post that he wrote a few months ago. Blog, I think it's let's see if I see the blog post. Oops.
I've pasted the link in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So you had this parameter here, new, that if you add this parameter, then it will create a new workspace. But if you don't specify this parameter, it will reuse the workspace that you already created using this same factory URL. This is really something that we got from the feedback from users that are not like the one that have been using Che for a few years as we have been doing, and they were really that's a behavior that they are not expecting, and yeah, that was their feedback, and that's that's the change that this is done because of that.
But it could lead to really confusing situation because if I understood it correctly, it's located in Workspace by the name only. Am I right?
No, I think it's really the URL, right? It's like if you use this URL here for starting a workspace, every time you click on this URL, you use that URL, you'll always get the same the same workspace. If the Git repository change, but the name of the in the dev file you get the same name. Yeah, the name in the dev file is the same. You will have a new workspace
with the same name. So there will be two workspaces with the same name.
Yeah, I think it will fail. It will fail at that because you cannot have two workspaces with the same name.
And in the past, we had per click and per user attributes. So we just changed the default, but it's the same behavior that we had with per click and per user attributes.
There was random name, I would say. Now it's not. And if I have already some workspace, so how can I open new one? I should remove previous one. Yeah.
It's no, it's so I think so. If you go on the def file 2.2 reference, and you have metadata. So you have name, and you have optional def file name. Yeah, I don't know. I think that so since it's optional, you should not, you may not have that. Yeah, I don't know. So we used to have like the generated name. That's why the names were not random if you just specified the name. They were adding a
It's
name to
specified. It's specified by name in all samples in create workspace, as far as I know. So they
yeah,
will
but
be
so
they will collide with factories, maybe.
you see, so the idea is when you use name here, the workspace will be named with that name, exactly that name. And when you use generated name, that this will be used as prefix, and then you will have some random characters that will be used after that. But anyway, if you have an issue with that, so create an issue, we can discuss it. I think that makes sense. It's just that we don't, it doesn't look like it's something that is frustrating users. It doesn't look like it's something that don't allow users to adopt Che. There are other things like the integration with Git services that are frustrating users today. There are other things like the failure during a startup after they have been waiting for 3 minutes because volumes cannot be mounted.
3 minutes, not 5?
Or or when you like a user put an image that is not terminating and we're not so if the image is terminating, the workspace will fail to start, and this is really frustrating. So we have a lot of things that are really frustrating, but from the name of the dev file, something that usually we don't really get, doesn't look like those are critical problems for users.
Okay, I see. Thank you for feedback. There could be other questions from others.
Right. So yeah. Anyway, thank you, Dimitro, for your feedback. If you have anything you want to discuss, let's create an issue and discuss about that, and involve others, because I mean, as mentioned, those decisions have been taken because we have heard so customers, supports, PMs. These are also that provide us those feedback, and we have reacted to those feedback. So I think we need to listen to those feedbacks, and yeah. Does it look like there are other topics? So someone else wanted to say something?
I would propose another topic, to have change list, I mean, between major version, between dev workspace enabled and disabled changes in UI, because it could be surprise for someone have the changes. I don't know if it's simple to have it or not. Maybe it's
what?
already
Sorry.
somewhere present. Change list.
Oh.
Which you just explained. So we don't have tab. There will be the same workspace opened from fact as you said. And then other thing, if it's simple to have it in one place, just to read and understand what to expect.
Yeah, yeah. Can you, so yeah, would you mind create an issue about that? Because I think you have already a lot of a few items that you can add to that list, because that's kind of a documentation issue. So
yeah, we have release notes, for example. Do you think it's about release notes text? Or
yeah,
how it could be expressed in documentation?
Yes, that's something. But yeah, just create an issue and then we can discuss with documentation team where this should live. But I think it's a good idea.
So I will create it and provide a link to you.
Okay, so thank you, Dimitro, and thank you everyone for this call, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Mario, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. I noticed. Sorry, it's my first meeting I'm joining. I had great issues, and you proposed that I join this meeting. Thank you for that. I noticed that it's being recorded.
Yes.
Are these recordings available, or where are they
Yes.
available?
They are available in the wiki. In the wiki of Eclipse Che. So I will provide you the link. Wiki Eclipse Che. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining. I hope it was interesting and.
Yeah,
Cool.
this is actually what I need. I need some discussion to see how it's being used to get grasp of the product itself.
Okay. Yeah. So here is the link to the wiki that should have recordings, yeah, of past sessions. And don't hesitate next time to add a topic. So for next week, if you would like to discuss about something particular. So here we have mainly all the development team. So yeah, you can get answer to anything.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.